Chip Washington. It's real talk. Man, it's real talk with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the man got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's a local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And can you hear me? Testing 1 2 1 2 1. Hey, how you doing? We went from ho 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 to Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2021. We have a brand new year on tap. This is a brand new Real Talk. I am the same old host, not quite the emphasis on old, but Chip Washington, your humble host on this Monday evening, January 4th, 2021. And of course, we were out last week for the holiday, and I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday season, Christmas, and Happy New Year. And if you're out there listening, I'm very happy that you are back amongst us as we begin a brand new Real Talk in a brand new year. And my hope and prayer and wish for you is that this year is the absolute best year ever. I wish for you abundance beyond comprehension, and I just wish good health and just everything that is above and beyond measure. I wish for all of you, and that is my prayer for you for 2021. So everybody doing okay? You guys doing all right out there? It's good to be back. It's good to be back in the seat. I have my guys with me. Marquette is producing the show. Adam is also here helping out, associate producing tonight. And it's always good to see my guys as we begin a new year. We have a pretty good show for you tonight. Of course, that is always my hope, to have a pretty good show for you on these Monday evenings. We're going to talk about a few things, education we're going to speak to as well, and we're going to get a kind of a year in review and a fast forward a little bit later on. My first guest will be Karen Vogelsang. She is the executive director of Arise to Read and Red Door Urban Missions. Now, this particular group is actually doing in-person, face-to-face teaching of young people through an apartment complex in this city as well. So she's going to talk to us about how they're pulling this off, and of course the benefits of being able to see students and students sort of interacting with one another socially, and how all this is working out for them. From what I'm to understand, it's working out pretty well. So we will discuss in a few minutes. I am also going to speak with Mecca. Now, I'm really bad with names, but Mecca is the executive director of Code Crew. And Code Crew is an organization that is dedicated to teaching our young adults about the technological world, technology, not only young folks, but adults as well. It's a great program. It's a big program. And he's going to talk about what they do, how they get the young people engaged in the future, which is technology, and, kind of how their program operates as well. And finally, we will have an old friend to the Real Talk program. His name is Otis Sanford, columnist, commentator, author, my friend Otis Sanford will be here, and we'll do a year in review, and we will always also take a look at what lies ahead as we enter the beginning strains of 2021. I tell you, 2020 was a year like none other, and a year that none of us will ever forget. We will never forget the 351,000 people who have perished as a result of the COVID virus. It is still active. It is still with us. But the good news is that vaccinations are starting to take place around the country. That includes Tennessee and the Shelby County. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a couple of minutes. But as always, if you are celebrating or have celebrated recently a birthday or an anniversary or otherwise special occasion, congratulations to you. And I hope that it was a wonderful celebration and that you have many, many more, whether it's wedding anniversaries or birthdays or, anything else in between all of that. So as we get into the news and notes of the day, we may have ended 2020, in terms of the violence in the city on a pretty tough note. Over 330 murders last year and 80 highway shootings. 80 highway shootings. I just, in my mind, I just can't even fathom that. But and we've already started out this year. We've had 2 murders in the first 2 or 3 days of the year, as well. Several shootings over the weekend. So, sort of we're picking up where we left off. But I am an optimistic person, and I hope that before it's all said and done, we won't see the type of numbers that we saw last year. Now, let me ease into this vaccination situation, because this is a pretty big deal now, and this is sort of the front-facing story that we're all facing here in Memphis and Shelby County. The Shelby County Health Department is still vaccinating people. Now, they have priority groups. Now, they're working with 1A1 right now, and that has a lot to do with the frontline workers, the hospital staff, the emergency personnel, law enforcement, police, fire, sheriff, deputies, things like that. Of course, as I said, the hospital personnel as well, the nurses and the frontline workers, the doctors and things like that. Now, where there has been availability, which was last week, they did provide the vaccine to funeral and mortuary workers, as well as people 75 and older. And those people 75 and older actually fall in the next group, 1A2, but some of them, I'm to understand, have actually gotten the vaccine. The vaccination sites, now listen to me very carefully. The vaccination sites, which there are 2 in Shelby County, one at Sycamore View and the other one at Lindenwood Christian Church, are closed this week. Once again, the vaccination sites at Sycamore View and Lindenwood Christian Church are closed this week. The health department is moving their vaccination efforts to shift to congregate settings, including long-term care facilities whose staffs and residents are part of the priority group. They will announce when and where the next drive-through vaccination sessions will resume for the first group, which is 1A1, which includes the funeral, mortuary workers, and possibly, if there's enough, the 75 and older population. So you need to stay current. You need to stay active. You need to watch the news. Go to the Shelby County Health Department website that they're updating daily to provide updated information as to the ever-fluid and ever-changing situation of the vaccine shots, okay? So just stay current, and you'll be able to get the information that you need. Go to shelby.community, their website, or you can go to the Shelby County Health Department website, and they will give you the latest updated information. We have a couple of deaths to report. Teresa Jones, many of you know Teresa. She was a former school board member and a current Memphis municipal city judge. But she passed away over the weekend after long bout with cancer. She was a fierce advocate. I remember when she was on the school board, boy, she was, she wanted the best for our school children, no doubt about it, and she made no bones about it. And she was appointed first to be judge, and then she ran in the election and won the election in October of last year. Well, God bless her, and may she rest in peace. Teresa Jones passed away over the weekend. Also heard earlier today, Horn Lake High School in Mississippi announced that their principal, Andy Orr, died as well, passed away. I don't know what the cause was there, but we extend our condolences and sympathies to the folks, at that high school, as well. There has been, as I said earlier, we talked a lot about the vaccine, but meantime, the death toll and this current surge that we're experiencing nationwide is not getting any better right now. 351,000 plus people have died from the COVID virus, and that number just keeps getting higher and higher and higher each and every hour of each and every day. So you can't let your guard down. You have to stay protected. You have to follow the rules and regulations, which include wearing a mask, keeping a respectable distance from one another, 6 foot, and of course washing your hands and using hand sanitizer in the process of all of that, because it's going to take a minute for all of this, these vaccines to start to take hold, to start to take place. I mean, we're talking, several months into the year, and maybe if things go well in terms of the national vaccine and enough people get the vaccine, which, by the way, is a protector from you getting the virus. And if you do get it, you won't have to be hospitalized because it will keep your symptoms minimized, hopefully. Maybe late fall, we can start to return to being able to, hug and greet each other again and get out and socialize and go to restaurants and do all the kind of things that we're all used to doing in terms of that. A bit later on, right before I end this broadcast, I'm going to pay tribute to somebody who is a family member of mine who passed away passed away on the first of the year, New Year's Day. And he was a classic example of how you live your life is how you are remembered in death. And when I look at the tributes to him from so many people, I mean, we have a big family, obviously, but I mean, clearly just people who knew him, not just family members who he touched, but I mean, friends and colleagues and associates. How you live your life is how you are remembered in death. And he was an absolutely amazing guy. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the broadcast. But we're gonna kick things off and get it started here. And when we come back, we're gonna put the show into first gear and talk to Karen Vogelsang from the Arise to Read and Red Door Urban Missions program. Happy New Year. I'm Chip. You know who you are. This is the first Real Talk of the new year. We'll take a quick break and we're right back.
You're listening to Real Talk with Chip Washington. If you're celebrating a birthday, anniversary, or special occasion, shoot him a note and he'll read it on the air. Get involved and tell somebody about Real Talk. We'll be right back.
And you're listening to 91.7 WYXR. Y'all have a safe, happy holiday. Stay safe, be blessed. We're all in this together. And don't forget to put your mask on. Remember, Willard Clayton said it. Put your mask on. Save your life, save a loved one's life. Everybody be just fine. Peace. Happy holidays.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Sam.
I don't think Jim would mind if we just talk about a little school dropping out.
Education.
Yeah. I was reading a paragraph the other day that said a little bit of learning can be dangerous. And because today's job market, the smaller your education, the smaller your chances for success.
True.
So I would like to tell our friends, don't be a dropout. Drop out of school today. You have less education than most machines. That's just a
headaches.
Yeah, a little figure of speech there, but really it's a true thing. It doesn't sell the dull, dirty, or the low-paying jobs.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But if we stay in school and try to get that education, the kids now they really do want to stay in school now. You know, and the ones that don't want to stay in school, watching the ones that are going to school, they really want to get on in there because it's so much happening. Look, you're getting your studies, you're getting a chance to play with sports. It's so many beautiful things in school that you can do, you know. So, girls and boys, this is Sam.
And I'm Dave.
And we would like to say to you, don't be a dropout. Stay in school.
Get Real Talk on the Tunein mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Real Talk, first show of 2021. Chip Washington here, your host. Very happy to have you with us. And as promised, we have our first special guest of the new year. She is the executive director of Arise to Read. Her name is Karen Vogelsang. Karen, are you there?
I am. How are you, Chip?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year, and
Happy New Year to you.
And thank you so much for being the first guest of the new year. I really appreciate it.
Wow, what an honor.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about that part, but I'm happy to have you. I'm happy, I'm happy to have you with us. And
well, thank you.
So, talk to us a little bit about this unique program that you have developed and cultivated during a pandemic when most of the children, from the educational perspective, are learning in the virtual world. You have actually found a way to bring them together. So talk to us about what Arise to Read is all about, please.
Sure. So Arise to Read was founded over 8 years ago during the Memphis City Shelby County Schools merger. And basically our founder, Donna Gaines, her goal was to basically work with Superintendent Hobson, who was the superintendent back then, to bring the community, to bring the faith-based organizations into the schools to support early childhood literacy. So we focus on a very specific literacy skill that really promotes reading proficiency, and our focus is working with second graders. Okay. Well, obviously, March of last year, with the Safer at Home order being issued, everybody was sent home, including our 1,200 plus volunteers that were serving as many students. And we wanted to, first we wanted to find a way to get the books that we had purchased, because in the end of every school year, we provide every single child in our partner schools. And last year we were partnering with 41 schools in the greater Shelby County area. 36 of those schools were actually Shelby County schools. Okay. And we purchased books for over 4,000 children to take home over the summer, because our research shows that when children have access to books, that they are likely to spend time reading those books, exploring those books, and that helps them maintain their reading skills. Well, when COVID hit, we were like, oh my goodness, all the children are at home, what are we going to do? And so a couple things happened. The YMCA basically created these virtual learning hubs where the children could come and be in a safe place and have adult supervision, where they could connect with their teachers online to continue their virtual learning. But at the same time, they also found that there were many children that needed some support. The very young children were kind of having struggles with the online learning format. And so one of our volunteers from the previous year reached out and said, hey, can Arise to Read come to these sites and support the children? And we said, yes, absolutely. In the middle of all that, what happened was we still had some books in our supply room that we wanted to get into the hands of children, because we know that 61% of low-income families have no books in the home, right? And you don't get to be a better reader if you don't have access to books. So we wanted to find a way to get these books into the hands of children who needed them. And we basically made a connection with Red Door Urban Missions, whose founder is Eric Watkins. And Red Door is located in the New Horizons apartment complex right off of Mill Branch Road. And we went and took the books out to Eric. And they do summer programming predominantly, but what happened was they also created a virtual learning hub there for children, because so many parents were really struggling with how to support their children in this learning format. So Eric has had about anywhere from 35 to 40 children at Red Door Urban Missions. And as a result of the YMCA, Red Door Urban Missions, and we're also partnering with Memphis Athletic Ministries, we have volunteers that are going into these sites face-to-face, working with the children. And typically, Chip, we are working with just second-grade students so that we can help support any gaps that they may have in their foundational literacy skills, so that by the time they go to third grade, they're more prepared for the challenges of third grade. Well, we found out that there weren't just second graders that were struggling. There were children of all ages. So we were basically pre-testing all of the children at the sites and finding the ones who were behind grade level, and we were finding volunteers to work with those students predominantly for an hour a week. That's always our goal, but sometimes it just depends on schedules and things like that. So as a result, we've got volunteers that have been willing during this crazy time with this virus to go face-to-face with the children and help support their literacy skills And not only that, but just build strong relationships because the volunteers are working with the same students every week.
Wow, that is very, very impressive in terms of the dynamics of this program. We're speaking with Karen Vogelsang. She is the executive director of Arise to Read. And, of course, how many students are we talking about, Karen? And I guess the follow-up to that is we all know that learning is much better when it's face-to-face, in-person, versus the other. So I'm going to have you speak to that as well. But how many students are you dealing with right now?
Probably in total right now between 250, 300 students, which is a far cry from our usual 1,200 students that we've been serving for the last couple of years.
Wow.
I just came on board. I actually taught in Shelby County Schools for 15 years, Memphis City, Shelby County Schools, teaching first through fourth grade.
Okay.
And Chip, you're absolutely right. I mean, part of being in the school building is building relationships with your peers, with your teachers, virtual learning format, especially for our youngest students, is a very challenging format because, you might be telling a student as a teacher, okay, now your assignment is to go and read, whatever that assignment may be, and you might be a struggling reader, and you may not be able to read it, and you may not be able to have the support at home or even in a virtual learning environment to get that support that you need. And so, if you ever thought of a time where you were really trying to tackle a task or an assignment that was really challenging, sometimes your first instinct is to just give up. And so we know from our experiences with our volunteers working with our children, these volunteers become such positive, encouraging voices for the kids. And what happens is we see the children just build their confidence in their own abilities. They see themselves as smart and capable.
Sure.
They see themselves as being able to tackle the task. Their perseverance increases. They get more excited about learning. And so it's just, I think everybody in the education environment is doing the best job that they can given the circumstances that we have. Nobody gave us a playbook for a pandemic. If they did, I don't know where they're hiding it.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I think everybody's doing the best that they can. But you're absolutely right. Children need the face-to-face interactions for not only the academic growth, but also the social-emotional growth as well.
Well, just listening to you talk about this and understanding and knowing that there is an actual option out there for these young people, and you're getting them at their formative years, obviously, is really a wonderful, wonderful program. Now, Ken, if someone wanted to know more about this program and perhaps getting their young people involved, what is the process there?
Well, really, the first step is just give me a call. I'll be happy to talk about it with you at any time. And the other way you can sort of get some information is to go to our website, which is arisetoread.org, and it's ARISE, the number 2, read, READ.org. So you can check out our website. Our office number is 901-347-5545. We are going to be starting about 2 or 3 new sites at the beginning of next month. And we definitely need more volunteers to work with the children. I mean, our children are our future. And as adults, we really need to take the skills and the talents that we have and invest those in the children because they're the ones that are going to be taking care of us
Absolutely.
when we're older and retired and things like that. They are the ones that are going to be holding the jobs in our community. And
Yes,
I promise you, I worked in Fraser for 10 years. I worked in South Memphis for a couple of years as a teacher. And there's a lot of potential out there. And I always told my kiddos that they could become and be anything they wanted to be. They could dream and to be whatever. But first and foremost, they have to be able to read. And that's just a foundational skill that all of our children have to have in order to be able to pursue a job, pursue college,
Yes.
pursue a technical path, whatever it is, to become a radio personality like you.
Well, I'm still learning at this game here, but thank you for the compliment anyway. Karen, thank you so much, sincerely, for taking some time to talk to us about this. I'm very fascinated by what it is that you do, and I want to compliment you for taking on this task, particularly during this difficult time, continuing to educate our young people and getting them ready as they move forward in life. Thank you so much. And listen.
Well, thank you, Chip. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and share something that I'm very passionate about. So thank you for providing me the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Well, look, and anytime you want to come back on the show, or you have a new initiative, or you got new recruiting for new volunteers, or just any new programs, you are welcome anytime.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Believe me, I will take you up on that offer.
Thank you, Karen. Really appreciate it. You take care. Talk soon.
Thank you. Take care and God bless.
Okay, you too. Well, that was a great conversation with Karen Vogelsang. You know what? Learning is much better when it's face to face, and I pray that before this year is out, we can get back to that in a very safe manner, of course, with our young people. Great first guest, off to a great start. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the code with the executive director of Code Crew. We'll have that and much more as Real Talk rolls on for this Monday. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Quick break. Back in a minute.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Hi, Carla Thomas speaking. Listen, there's no harm in staying in school. You gain so much, and you have so much more to offer to your country, yourself, and to other young people who will follow in your footsteps. There's a key to the door of your future in the classroom. Go and get it and do something with it.
If you disrespect everybody that you're running to.
Hi, we're the Staple Singers.
I'm Yvonne, Cleo, Mavis.
And I'm Pop. I'd just like to say, please don't use dangerous drugs because it's detrimental to your soul and your life. We need you, young people. Don't use drugs.
Please stay away from girls.
Support for WYXR comes from our partner, Spaces Group. Spaces Group is a commercial furniture dealership located in Memphis, Tennessee and Jackson, Mississippi, specializing in furniture for the corporate, healthcare, educational, government, and not-for-profit markets. For more information or to start your project, visit spacesgrp.com.
Get Real Talk on the Tunein mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk. Chip here on this Monday, January 4th, 2021. So happy to have you with us on this first show of a brand new year. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the code. There is a tremendously successful and wonderful organization out here in the city, in the county, called the Code Crew. And I love that name, by the way. And we are fortunate to have the executive director of Code Crew now. He told me his first name is pronounced Maka, like Jamaica. So Maka is on the phone, and I'm going to let him tell everybody his last name. Maka, you there?
I am here, and my name is Maka Egwekwe. My father's from Nigeria, but I'm from South Memphis. But everyone calls me Maka for short.
All right, Maka for short. That's what I'm gonna call you. and thank you, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about what I jokingly call the gospel of computer science education.
All right, let's get into it. And first, before we even get started, Happy New Year to you, sir. Happy 2020.
And Happy New Year to you as well.
That's right. Okay, so we all want to know about the Code and the Code Crew. You are the executive director of this organization. For those of us who are less informed, tell us about the Code Crew.
Well, Code Crew, we are a nonprofit founded right here in Memphis that teaches kids and adults about computer science and how to think computationally. And we prepare kids and adults for college, career, and entrepreneurship in computer science.
Okay.
So, we started back in 2015 with some support from the Memphis Grizzlies, mentoring kids at the Lester Community Center in Binghampton. And now that's grown into numerous in-school electives classes across the city, after-school programs across the city, adult coding boot camps, where we train adults and prepare them for jobs that pay $50,000 a year or higher. We also train teachers to teach computer science, and we've been successfully getting legislation in computer science. So those are kind of like the pillars of Code Crew and all the things that we do. But we believe in running twice as fast as the ones in front, so we're doing a lot at once.
So when I reached out to you, we talked about the fact that I saw a story that was done, I believe, in reference to you all getting some monies from. Did I get that right in terms of donations?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we've been fortunate to most recently receive some funds from Verizon, who has invested in us so that we can bring more K-12 computer science education, especially in the form of after-school programs, to more kids in the city. And so right now we're working with between 400 and 500 kids a week, teaching computer science in the form of robotics or mobile apps or video games and different topics. Drone programming we were doing before COVID. But we're able to do a lot of the things that we were doing in person. We're able to do online. Like we can do robotics online with a great platform called Coder Z and a number of different things. And Verizon and our friends there are contributed $50,000 to Code Crew for us to continue to scale up our K-12 offerings. We're fortunate to have a number of different corporate sponsors. Bank of America is another great one who contributed $50,000 to Code Crew a year ago. And so we're thankful for their support and so many others. I could go on and on.
Well, as you were saying that, I was thinking about just how big the technology aspect of our world has become. And I do know that there are a lot of young people who are very interested in the tech world. And based on the 400 to 500 kids that you are dealing with right now, I take it you would agree with that. This is a pretty big deal, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, so right now it is just the absolute right time to get these skills. I mean, we're raising our children. Our children are growing up today, surrounded by computers, surrounded by software, surrounded by algorithms. Mm-hmm. And the reality is that if they don't get more access to become producers of technology in this space, they're going to not only find themselves behind, but I like to put it this way: they need to put algorithms on their menu, or they're going to be on the menu of the algorithms. We've got to equip kids and adults for these opportunities in tech, especially in Memphis, where our largest demographics are the ones that are most underrepresented in this space. Right. And if we're going to achieve that prosperity, we all say that Memphis has a potential of achieving. I'm quite tired of talking about potential. I'm ready to let's make this happen, right? And but if we're going to achieve that, we've got to get more African Americans, Latinx, and girls into the space, especially because those are our largest and fastest growing demographics. We are talking with
Mecca. He is the executive director of Code Crew. And are you finding that, based on that last statement you made about incorporating even more people into the pool here, are you finding that is that a difficult pull, or do you have more folks than you can really handle at any particular point in time?
Well, I don't know if we have more folks than we can handle necessarily, but yeah, one of the first lessons especially for kids, but even adults that we engage with, is for them to realize that this field is not rocket science. That is not just for white and Asian males, right? So it's been a challenge because all of society, whether you're white and Asian male or not, has assumed that this is for white and Asian males. So to get them to see that this is something that they can do, that's the first step. Really, it's a psychological step, if you will. And so sometimes it can be challenging to get those who are African American, Latinx, or women to see that they can do this just like anyone else. So we, but that's oftentimes, especially with kids, if they're like in our mobile app class, the first thing they do is they build a mobile app that first day. It's a very simple app that's got a button with Dr. King's picture on it. They click the button. It says part of one of his speeches. They leave that day having made an app, and but that psychological step of them recognizing that is always been a challenge until we are more successful ourselves at building that culture of coding, that culture of computational thinking that we want to build in Memphis. So that's how I'd answer that question at least.
So as you incorporate more of these young people into this, I would call culture, are they your best advocates? Are they your best sales folks to go out and say, hey, look, let me tell you something. I'm a part of Code Crew, and here's what we're doing, and you need to come on and be a part of this thing. Do you find that to be really, almost your best sales pitch, the ones who are in the program and enjoying it now?
It is a tremendous sales pitch, and I'm always proud. For example, we had two young ladies last year win the Congressional App Challenge for Tennessee Congressional District 9.
Oh, my.
And then this year, they paired with another student, and the three of them won it again.
Oh, my. That's wonderful.
We had another young man who won a national competition with the Black Data Processing Associates at their conference last year. Now he's in college, and he is lining up to be a TA to teach other students. We've had others go on into college and become TAs for us, teaching assistants for us. So they're giving back in that way. Though all our TAs are paid though too, so they actually get a chance to make a few extra bucks too while they're doing this. We've got kids that have published apps, and kids that have gone on to do a lot of great, interesting things. And so that's what keeps me going, if you will. That flywheel effect that keeps the organization going through these kids demonstrating their accomplishments. We're a young organization. We've been around for a little over 5 years, and as the longer we're around, the greater that impact and the greater those stories will be. And it's not just the kids; it's the adults too. We've got adults who graduated from our programs. When you look at those who are placed into jobs, and again, we try to target them at $50,000 a year. We're averaging just under that. And but the average income before they come in is about $15,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
And so to go from 15 to about 48, 49 on average is a significant jump.
Pretty big deal.
That can be life-changing for it has been life-changing for a number of individuals.
I hear the pride in your voice, in particular when you were talking about the young people who have achieved so much success through your program so early in life, and I'm feeling really good just hearing you talk about the pride that you have in those who have been through your program and are really doing some big things. But before I let you go, let people know how they can be a part of this, how they can get in contact with you, how they can donate. Just let them know anything that you need to let them know.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we have a number of different ways to get involved with Code Crew. If you've got kids and you're interested in, or they're interested in some of our after-school programs, you can go to our website at code-crew.org and sign your child up. Our spring after-school programs start again, I think, around the 28th of January,
okay,
give or take. And so certainly, if you're interested in your kids being a part, if you're interested in us being at your school, please reach out to us at team at code-crew.org. That's TEAM at code-crew.org. Send us an email, and because we would like to bring computer science directly into more schools in Memphis.
Yes.
If you're an adult, visit our website as well for our full-time and part-time adult coding boot camps. If you're interested in volunteering, reach out to us at team@codecrew.org. And certainly, if you're interested in donating, there are multiple ways to do so. You can do so primarily on our website. Just go to code-crew.org click the donate button, and we gladly put your dollars to the betterment of a tech culture here in Memphis. And I'll just say that we're excited to be partners with the Black Tech Futures Research Institute.
Yes, sir.
It's a partnership between several of us in Memphis. That's Epicenter, Lemoyne and Code Crew in Memphis. Partner with Nashville, Houston, and Birmingham with the goal of building thriving, sustainable tech ecosystems for African Americans in these 4 cities. And so it's a lot of great things, an exciting time right now. And so certainly great, lots of ways to engage, but start with our website.
Look, man, I have really enjoyed this conversation with you, and I really enjoyed learning more about Code Crew. But one thing, if you and I ever have a conversation again, it's against the rules of Real Talk for the guest to have a smoother voice than the host. So we'll have a conversation about that offline.
I don't think I can compete.
Oh yeah.
You got the smoothness.
Oh man,
and the show to show for it.
Listen. Look, I really appreciate you, man. And look, Happy New Year, and you're welcome back on this show on the Serious Tip anytime. Really appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well. Have a Happy New Year. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. That was Meka, and he is like I said, the executive director of Code Crew. Man, that is a great program. Listen, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the year past and the year ahead with Mr. Otis Sanford. You are listening to Real Talk, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Real Talk with Chip Washington. If you're celebrating a birthday, anniversary, or special occasion, shoot him a note and he'll read it on the air. Get involved and tell somebody about Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Crosstown Concourse is celebrating the holidays by shining bright. This year's Delight at Concourse festivity will last all December long, featuring indoor and outdoor light installations, pop-up dining areas, daily live music, and more. Thank you for being our light in the dark. Now, Crosstown will delight you.
Like what you're hearing? WYXR is a listener-supported station. Help keep the sound of Memphis alive by donating at WYXR.org.
Get Real Talk on the Tunein mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk. This is Chip, and we are rolling through our first show of the brand new year. And I could not think of a better person to come on the very first show of this year to talk about things past and things future than a man I'm very proud to call a friend. He is the columnist, commentator, and author, also known as Mr. Otis Sanford. Otis, you there?
I am here, Chip. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Happy New Year to you as well, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Sure.
A couple of things to talk about as we ended a year like none other. Just simply put, as you sit back and reflect on it, what are your thoughts?
So many.
Yeah. Sure.
You just said it, though. It's a year like none other. It upended all of our lives in countless ways, not to mention the fact that the lives that it took, this COVID-19, I mean, I got personal friends who passed away as a result of it. It hit my family, and certainly upset and altered, my working habits and things of that nature. And beyond all of that, You had all of the craziness around the election.
Yeah.
You had the protest in the street as a result of the senseless killings of African Americans, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, and others.
Yes.
And so you had all of that going at the same time. So it was just a dismal year. I think it was the most dismal year of my lifetime.
You have been really covering the Memphis Shelby County beat for about 4 decades now, and there isn't much that you haven't seen. I would imagine, and as you well stated, that 2020 was just something that, I mean, for all of us, completely altered everything that we would know as normal. And even as we enter into 2021, I would imagine that it's still going to be we're going to be in a new normal, even at some point in time when we can try to get back to a semi-normal lifestyle. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that, Chip. I mean, it might be a new year, but we're going into this new year doing some of the same things we did in 2020. For example, teaching is still going to be online. I teach at the University of Memphis.
Yes.
And my classes will be all on Zoom again in the spring. For the third semester. And so, yes, that's the main thing that's going to be the same. We will still have to cope with this coronavirus pandemic. But the one thing that I hope will be different, I'm really hoping that we start to get a little bit of sanity back into our national politics.
Yeah.
We won't do it this week,
yeah.
But after the 20th of January, I'm really hoping we start to get some sanity back.
It has, yeah. That's been one of the major headlines, and as you say, it's not quite over yet. We haven't quite turned the page yet, but that should hopefully be coming soon. Speaking of politics, let me bring it to the local perspective from your viewpoint. Accomplishments, disappointments in 2020 in terms of the local government aspect of things?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say, only because there couldn't be a lot of major accomplishments, primarily, again, because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sure.
It overshadowed everything. So, even the things that I would assume that Mayor Jim Strickland wanted to do in Memphis or the city council had on his plate, those things either didn't happen or pretty much got ignored because people were so consumed by the coronavirus. I think you have to look at county government probably more than anything else for the year. And, and a lot of that has to do with the health department because they were the front and center of anything noteworthy in 2020.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, how did they handle the coronavirus? Well, it was good and bad there. I mean, there were fits and starts, and they provided information, but sometimes they did not do a good job of enforcement, and so it was tough there. I think if I had to give a grade to either one of the city mayors, I'd give a B to Strickland and a B to Harris. I mean, again, they couldn't do much of anything just because everybody was sort of locked into this virus.
Speaking with Otis Sanford on this first Real Talk of the new year. Let's shift perspectives, if we can, to a record that none of us are too thrilled about, which is the over 300 murders that we had in the city this year, 330, I believe, to be exact, 80 highway shootings. We are in the midst of about to select a brand new police director. Your take?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously one of the dismal things of the year as well, was our homicides going up to 330. First time ever it had even reached 300. The record was 228 back in 2016.
Right.
So that's a terrible thing. There are a lot of factors that go into that. Some of that can be COVID related, just because of the isolation, the despair, the lack of ability to get job. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why the homicide rate went sky high this year, because it went sky high in other cities as well.
Yeah.
So that's very depressing. I do think that all eyes for 2021 are going to be on the selection of a new police director. I said on television that will be the top story in Memphis for 2021.
Wow. Okay.
Will succeed Michael Rollins, and the community is demanding to have some input into that. I think they should have some, and we'll see where it goes. And there's also a question about whether it should be somebody coming up through the ranks, as it always is, or should Memphis go outside and get somebody from outside the city.
I'm going to ask you.
There may be arguments for that this time.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you what your thought is. Do you think we should look inside or go outside?
I think we should do both. Let's look at inside, but let's not close off going to the outside.
Okay.
I mean, Memphis, and you said it earlier, I've been around the city for many years, and I've covered a lot about city government and county government, too. But in the history of the police department where police directors are concerned, there's only been 2 from the outside since the early 1970s. One was a guy named Jay Hubbard back in the early 70s. He only lasted a couple of years. And then Buddy Chapman was not. He did not come up through the ranks, although he was a Memphis area guy. But he did not come up through the police department. Other than those, all of them have come up through the ranks. From Chief Ive to Ivy and Bolton, and just the list goes on and on and on. All of them came up through the ranks. So the question is, do we need to look outside? And I say do both. Look inside and outside.
Absolutely. Well, listen, man, I always enjoy having you on this show. I really do. I love listening to you talk and give only the perspective that you can give, because you know this city and you know this county. You've been here, and you've been doing what you do for a long time. Highly respected, and I'm gonna have you back. So
well, I know you are.
As events arise, my friend, I'm going to have you back on the show. But in the meantime, thank you, Otis, for taking a few minutes of your time to visit with our Real Talk audience, and I look to talk to you soon.
Well, thank you, Chip, and again, Happy New Year to you and your audience. Hope we have a better 2021.
Absolutely. Thanks, Otis. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the conclusion of a really, really good show. And before I get out of here, I said earlier that I lost a family member January 1st. His name was Reggie Salone, and he was my cousin. He died after a long and courageous battle with cancer at the age of 59. As I said before, how you live is directly related to what people think after you have left this earth. And I have visited the family website, and I have seen the comments, so many comments. I mean, so many comments about him as a man, him as a mentor, him as a father, him as a relative, a friend, a confidant, a colleague. And all I can say is it really makes me want to be a better person, because how you live in this life and those that you touch in this life will leave an indelible mark on you. He used to, we didn't really verbally talk much, but he would always support this show, and he'd give me positive comments and support, and he'd always call me cuz. He leaves behind 6 beautiful daughters and a wife, and a host of brothers and sisters and family members spread out all across this country. And and I can sit here and say to all of us who are still here, finish your assignment. We have work to do, but more importantly, think outside of yourself and reach outside of yourself. And reach down and help someone who may need a hand up. It is never too late to be a positive influence in this world on somebody else. And so as we get on out of here now, thank you so much for listening to the show. And I really appreciate your support and your encouragement. And if you like what we do, tell somebody about it. And in the meantime and in between time, if the Lord says so, I will be back along with my crew next week, same time, same station. In the meantime, I'm Chip, and I'm out.
Nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw to solve all problems.